Welcome back to Beyond the Curve. We got some great videos today. Please hit the like button, share, comment, and subscribe. Let's go.
These lizards have a unique biological property of their bodies.
The lizards have what's called a proboscis.
It's an ejectable brain and spinal column.
The small ones they use to drone people, because the proboscis on young lizard type 1s, they're small enough to go into an eye and not ruin the eye, because they're supposed to do this to animals with bigger eyeballs, probably friggin' dinosaurs.
They parasite a human's brain. This top cap thing on the top of their head comes out. They can do this once in their life. It pulls their spinal column along with it. The human would have to be restrained or unconscious.
The thing squiggles in through the eye. It does a spiral around the optic nerve all the way to a certain point, and it's driven there by taste. And they said once it gets there, it has the taste of butterscotch. It then starts what they call sweating the quilt. The spinal cord stuff comes out of the spinal cord, and it's everything that the lizard is. The lizard's whole body is dead, and it can't go back in. It's one way.
The juice that's in the spinal cord gets excreted out of the tip of this thing. They're parasitic cells. The parasitic cells go into the brain.
The old person's consciousness is gone. The body is absolutely, totally dominated, and the lizard is smarter as a human. Over time, it'll develop a rash, it'll lose its hair.
And they're actually deficient. They're dumber than the original person.
And they mimic human behavior. And it knows that its life is dependent on it mimicking human behavior, so it does really well. Even with other animals, it's smart enough to instinctually mimic the animal's behavior. The drones of 100 years ago erased any existence of these Vrill lizards from Egyptian carvings on walls. They would smash them, or books that had anything in them about them, they would burn them.
Look at Katy pulling up.
Oh,
This is not
God.
normal. No, this is not normal.
Katie showed her fellow judges and all of America that she's able to puff out her neck like a frog.
Yeah.
The Vrill. You see, the earth is hollow. In the center, you'll find enough Vrillia for all of us. The other Vrills are not as nice as I am. They hate your kind. The entrance to the hollow earth lies between two mountains on Antarctica.
Entrance to hollow earth? Okay. And once I'm down there?
You find the city of Agatha. In the middle of the city lies a temple where they keep the Vrillia. In a simple vessel called the Holy Grail. A long time ago, we arrived on this planet after a very long journey. Our ship was heavily damaged. But we were in luck. We had found a planet with air and water and life. My fool of a brother was in charge. He ordered us to try and make contact with the locals. I told him it was a mistake. Of course, I was proven right. We were the only intelligent creatures on the planet. It was ours. We studied the flora and fauna, while the others obsessed over big game. I focused on the small. A new order had arisen, the primates. Then, I did something I knew my brother would never understand. I stole some of our precious Aurelia and gave it to my two favorites, Adam and Eve. I could have waited, let nature take its course, but why not give evolution a nudge? But I learned soon that the paradise was doomed. What do you want? I need you to bring my people here, to the Hollow Earth, so you can ruin Agatha, like you have ruined the whole planet. Only my followers.
A lot of truth there, a lot of lies there. Adam and Eve were created by God, not Vrill. And Vrill most likely come from your seat of the serpent, from beyond the ice wall, not outer space.
Called the Vrill. They come up from underground different spots all over the world. There's a 1 to 1.5 foot tall one. That's the Vrill Type 1.
The Type 1s are covered in red diamond-shaped scales. Real Type 1s are real dumb.
Little dragons, those are the Vrill Type 1. These lizards have a unique biological property of their body.
The lizards have what's called a proboscis.
It's an ejectable brain and spinal column.
The small ones they use to drone people because the proboscis on young lizard Type 1s, they're small enough to go into an eye and not ruin the eye.
This top cap thing on the top of their head comes out. They can do this once in their life. It pulls their spinal column along with it. The humans would have to be restrained or unconscious.
The thing squiggles in through the eye. It does a spiral around the optic nerve all the way to a certain point, and it's driven there by taste. And they said once it gets there, it has the taste of butterscotch. It then starts what they call mimic control. The spinal cord stuff comes out of the spinal cord, and it's everything that the lizard is. The lizard's whole body is dead, and it can't go back in. It's one way.
The juice that's in the spinal cord gets excreted out of the tip of this thing. They're parasitic cells. The parasitic cells go into the brain.
The old person's consciousness is gone. The body is absolutely, totally dominated, and the lizard is smarter as a human. Over time, it'll develop a rash, it'll lose its hair.
And they're actually deficient. They're dumber than the original person.
And they mimic human behavior, and it knows that its life is dependent on it mimicking human behavior, so it does really well.
So just a recap on that. Reptilians have what's known as a proboscis that can crawl in through the eye and take over the human, and now they are a reptilian-human hybrid with the reptilian behind the wheel, behind the actions, the thoughts, all that stuff. We're going to get into that. It's known in the elite circles or Hollywood or any famous rich people, big names, as the Black Eye Club. So we're going to get into that in a little bit.
My cosmic comrades, gather round. Today we dive into a tale so dark, so twisted, it'll make your third eye blink twice. Picture this, a world where shadows crawl, where the line between human and monster blurs, and where the ancient secrets of the Vrill lizards lurk beneath our very feet. Ready to unravel the mystery? Let's go, Buttercup.
Wait! Right, are we talking about actual lizards? Like, the kind that sunbathe on rocks? Or are these the kind that, I don't know, take over your brain and turn you into a creepy drone? Because, guys, I'm not sure I signed up for that.
Oh, Rain, my dear Peanut, these are no ordinary lizards. These are Vrill lizards. Parasitic, carnivorous, and downright malevolent. They're the stuff of nightmares, and they've been hiding in plain sight for centuries. Buckle up, because this is going to be one wild ride. Last time, we explored how to reverse engineer Metatronic tech and reclaim our sovereignty. We talked about the Maharic seal, the importance of personal energy fields, and how to shield ourselves from intrusive energies. Remember, folks, it all starts with you. Your inner sanctum is your first line of defense.
Yeah, and we also learned how to reprogram our environment, like structuring water with crystals and clearing out 5G distortions. Ray, it was like a cosmic DIY guide for saving the planet. If you missed it, you might want to catch up, friends. Trust me, it's worth it.
Now let's turn our attention to the Vrill lizards, those sneaky, soul-scalping, body-snatching entities that have been infiltrating humanity for who knows how long. These creatures are not just sci-fi fodder. They're real, and they're dangerous.
Wait, so you're telling me, Ray, that there are actual aliens living underground and they're using some kind of worm thingy to take over people's brains? That's not creepy at all. Nope, not one bit.
Exactly, Rain. The Vrill lizards, specifically Type 1, use a proboscis called the quill to transfer their consciousness into a human host. It's a one-way trip. Once they leave their lizard body, they're in for good. And the human? Well, let's just say their consciousness doesn't stick around for the ride.
Yikes. So what happens to the human? Do they just poof?
Pretty much, the Vrill's consciousness takes over and the human becomes what's called a drone. These drones retain the memories and abilities of their former selves, but they're stripped of empathy, compassion, and anything remotely human. They're ruthless, psychopathic, and utterly devoted to the Vrill agenda.
Okay, but how do we even know if someone's been droned? Do they start walking around with lizard eyes or something?
Good question, Rain. Surprisingly, no. Drones look just like you and me. But there are subtle signs: hair loss at a young age, skin anomalies, and sometimes a strange difference in one eye. Oh, and let's not forget the lack of empathy and the penchant for, shall we say, unusual behaviors. Now, here's where it gets even wilder. The Vrill lizards aren't just random aliens. They're tied to the Illuminati, Nazi ideology, and even the destruction of Atlantis. Some believe they're behind the infamous Black Eye Club, where elites mysteriously show up with black eyes, possibly as part of a Vrill ritual.
Wait, so you're saying, Ray, that Kanye West and the Pope might be part of some secret lizard club? That's, a lot to process.
Indeed, Rain, and let's not forget the Eye of Horus. Some believe it's an ancient warning about the droning process. The squiggly line beneath the eye, that's the quill, spiraling into the optic nerve. The ancients were trying to tell us something, and we're just now starting to listen. Picture this: a dimly lit room, a human restrained, and a Vrill lizard looming overhead. Its quill extends, glistening with an otherworldly sheen. It plunges into the victim's eyes, spiraling around the optic nerve, seeking a part of the brain. The human screams, but it's too late. The quill sweats its parasitic cells, and the transformation begins. The human is no more. The drone is born.
Okay, Ray, that's officially the most horrifying thing I've ever heard. But wait, what about the Vrill Type 3? You mentioned they're the dominant ones, right?
Ah, yes, Rain. The Vrill Type 3, often mistaken for the classic Greys. These beings are telekinetic, telepathic, and incredibly strong. They don't drone humans, but they're the masterminds behind the Vrill agenda. And, get this, they're the reason Atlantis sank. These guys are no joke. So, my luminous companions, what do you think? Rain, are these Vrill lizards just a figment of our collective imagination? Or is there more to this cosmic drama than meets the eye? And if they're real, how do we protect ourselves from their insidious influence?
Yeah, and what about the Black Eye Club? Ray, are these elites really part of some secret lizard ritual? Or is it just a coincidence? I mean, come on, black eyes? That's just weird.
As we close this chapter of our galactic saga, remember this: the universe is vast, and the mysteries it holds are deeper than we can imagine. Stay curious, stay vigilant, and above all, stay sovereign.
So all these famous people and celebrities and politicians, you notice the black eye? That's where the proboscis got in. So that lets you know all these famous people are no longer behind the wheel or in charge. Means lizard people are in charge.
All 9 Supreme Court justices
Not Iron Man.
all 9 Supreme Court justices shapeshift into reptilians. Did you know that for thousands of years, creatures from the constellation Draco have been mating with humans to form a super race that includes 43 U.S. presidents, most members of Congress, and the entire British royal family? Do you believe that intelligent life exists on other planets?
Encounters between humans and extraterrestrials took place over 100,000 years ago on Atlantis and in its sister civilization in the Pacific, Lemuria. Ancient civilizations on every continent have recorded evidence of these encounters. These visitors were highly advanced and did not appear in human form. Now, the Mayans called them Chanes, people of the serpents, and in Hebrew legend, the snake represented knowledge. Of course it did. It was not human. Not of this earth. History is replete with stories of the heroic destruction of serpents. Perseus and Medusa, St. George and the Dragon, St. Patrick and the Snakes of Ireland. But these are not merely legends, and the natural form of these invaders is not human. They are described in ancient accounts as serpents and dragons.
Demons.
And man's weapon against.
What if I told you that the most powerful people in the world are not actually human? For centuries, we've been ruled by leaders who seem untouchable. But there's something strange. Why do some figures of power act so cold, almost inhuman? Why are there leaked images where their eyes change shape or their skin seems to distort? The scariest theory of all may be true. According to this conspiracy, there is a race of reptilian beings that has controlled humanity from the shadows. They are not simple aliens. They are an elite that has manipulated history, economics, and entertainment to keep us under their control. Think about this. The richest and most powerful people seem to share physical characteristics and patterns of strange behavior. Ancient documents mention reptilian gods who descended to Earth, and today, these same figures appear in positions of power. Now the question is this all just a coincidence? Or are we living under the rule of a hidden species? Do you think this theory makes sense, or is it just another crazy thing? Leave it in the comments and follow me to discover more secrets like this.
I'm just going to jump into this video right here. This is a video that I found completely by accident, and it really is a diamond in the rough because it depicts a certain form of shape-shifting that I believe is more indicative of a true-blooded Draco or reptilian, the ones who wear the belt-like device that manifests a holographic form over their true form, rather than the genetic shape-shifting where the shape-shifting anomalies occur because the being's 50-50 split in genetics. So I think these, more commonly referred to as zebra shape-shifting, I'm going to show you now, I'm going to play this video in real time. I think that it's due to the technological devices in negative interaction with the camera, and I think that's what is causing these deep fissures here. Look, you'll see. And watch, you'll see on Timothy Geithner, our Treasury Secretary, in the end, too, you'll actually see an eye manifest in the middle of his head. I'm guessing the creature's true eye. So here's Timothy Geithner. I want you to pay attention to this guy in the background as well. So here's the same thing happening on Geithner. And then it goes away. It's happening on the two men behind him as well, but watch, this guy in the background, he'll actually tap his eye and the anomaly will go away. And I'll show you that in a minute, but I just want you to focus on Geithner here. And because we think we need to eliminate subsidies in the system that go to objectives. See, and right there, look at that, in the middle of his forehead, you can see an eye manifest. Maybe you didn't catch that, so we're gonna pause it and we're gonna go back to it because you need to see this. Look at that. Right there. But you can see the creature's real eye manifest right there.
Good morning, everyone. Before leaving D.C. for the weekend, President Trump tried to ramp up the pressure on Senate Republicans using his weekly address to urge them to repeal and replace Obamacare and finally deliver on a campaign promise Republicans started to make 7 years ago.
They got the same skin as the lizards got, okay? And terrible looking faces. But then they have the ability to shift and look like a human. All of them do, okay?
Okay, do you think Von Braun was a reptilian?
No.
You really don't?
No.
Okay.
Your president, yes.
Oh, what? Which one? George Bush Sr.? Yes.
Yeah.
Sure.
And Bill Clinton and this guy you got got rid of. Yeah.
Yeah.
They all were.
Right.
Okay. So, and they all have this ability to make themselves look like real good-looking people.
And you're saying Trump isn't one?
No, he's not. Okay.
Well, that's a relief.
And and he knows more about this subject.
If you know family.
Party. That's the most natural smile I've ever seen out of Mark Zuckerberg.
So the song Shake It Off was about how I shed my skin every 1,000 years. And the song Bad Blood was about how I drink blood out of my Grammys.
A toast to blood. Save some blood for Paul Rudd. I gave you my kidney, and it was delicious. Reagan, meet my favorite Reptoid sensitives, Barb Shrike and Zarthax Griswold Walton of the Reptoid High Council.
Good evening, your lizardness.
Oh, we're not that important. It's not like we control the world.
All rise for the Reptilian Anthem.
The humanoid-looking ones, maybe we call it reptilians, their hands were really thick digits, 4 fingers.
There is another caste of reptilians that actually have more of a humanoid features. So they don't have the long snout. They're not what you call your stereotypical reptilians, but they have some scales. They look almost like humanoid hybrid reptilian beings. Currently on Earth, there's still reptilian factions that have control of the Earth governments and the Earth religious sectors. These beings are maybe human in appearance, but some of them are full reptilians and some of them are reptilian hybrids. When I talk about full reptilians that appear humans, I'm talking about shape-shifting reptilians. So reptilians have the ability to shapeshift, to look like something that they're not. So they're masters of deception. And
what do we think fallen angels were? Masters of deception. They could shapeshift into a beautiful angel of light or look like a demon, because that's what they are ever since they were thrown down from heaven.
Without going into great detail about all of these that you have heard, can you tell the court when you believe somebody other than...
Maybe this is why all TVs switch from analog to digital. Remember, analog TVs used to cost a fortune. I remember one of the first big screen TVs I bought was like 50 inches for like $2,300. Now you can get one of these all digital LED TVs. You can get like 100-inch for like $200 because they want you all to have them because it's hiding this crap from us. Well, that's all I got for you today. I hope you enjoyed the videos. Stay vigilant out in the world. These reptilians are not just on TV or your politicians. They're everywhere. Have a great day. Don't forget to hit that subscribe button. Thank you.